All right, boys, tonight's the night we've been waiting for. We got 10 minutes on that countdown clock. Remember when it had 215 days up there? It's go time. J.J. Watt, about 10 years ago, had a great quote. He said, "Success, it's not owned. It is not owed to you. It's not something you just have. Success is leased." In order to be successful, we got to pay our rent, and you got to pay it every single day. Now, the way we're going to accomplish that is you have to have the will to work. You better have the will to compete. And you better have the will to finish. About embracing the moment, taking in the cheerleaders, the student section, the band, taking in that atmosphere, and then focusing on the task at hand. So tonight, we're going to face some adversity. There will be some things that get in your way. And the only way you can get through it is having each other's back. Coming together, picking each other up for a single cause. Night long, have your brother's back, be your brother's keeper, and let's go pay our rent.
Welcome to the Final Score Friday season preview show with sports director Lane Casadonte and Sean Robertson. Sponsored by Richmond Pediatric Dentistry and Orthodontics and Loyalty Automotive.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our special preview of Final Score Friday here on CBS 6. Sean and I are back for our 29th season of covering everything high school football in Central Virginia.
It's hard to believe it's been 29 years.
It's been that long,
Wow.
Trust me.
Now, some of the top players across the country play high school football right here in the Richmond area. We're going to show you the highlights of a lot of those players throughout the course of the season, but for right now, we want to give everybody a quick preview of who to watch in 2023. Several players from the Richmond region have already made their college commitment. Atlee offensive lineman Brock Taylor announced he will play at UMass next fall. He chose the Minutemen over Georgetown, Air Force, and 2 Ivy League schools, Brown and Penn. Trinity cornerback Cornell Allen will take his talents to the University of Charlotte next fall. The 4-star recruit had at one time 55 offers, and nearly half were from Power 5 programs, to include 4 of his top 6, Pittsburgh, Missouri, Indiana, and Kansas. Varina wide receiver Eric Smith decided to stay in-state and will play at Liberty next fall. Smith's final 5 included Virginia Tech, Coastal Carolina, Old Dominion, and James Madison. Highland Springs quarterback Khristian Martin announced recently he will play next season at Maryland. The reigning VHSL Class 5 State Player of the Year chose the Terps over Virginia, Virginia Tech, Texas, and Jackson State. Last season, Martin accounted for nearly 45 touchdowns as he led the Springers to a 15-0 record and their 5th state title in the last 8 years. Manchester's defensive end and tight end, Mekhi Byerson, will carry the family name to Morgantown after he selected West Virginia as his college destination. He chose the Mountaineers over Virginia Tech, Kentucky, and Rutgers. West Virginia is where his dad, Brad, played college basketball before transferring to Virginia Union. Thomas Dale senior quarterback and punter Ethan Minter decided to stay in-state with his verbal commitment to UVA earlier this year. He chose the Cavaliers over Virginia Tech, JMU, and Liberty. A first-team Region 6A selection last season, Minter accounted for nearly 2,500 yards of offense with 27 touchdowns, while averaging over 40 yards per punt for the Knights. James River Junior quarterback Nelson Lane will wait until next summer to make his college decision. He has several offers to include Virginia Tech, JMU, ODU, and Yale. Lane is looking for a school that will make him comfortable and who likes him at quarterback. Hopewell senior running back and linebacker Keyshawn Henderson has several offers from Power 5 schools, which dates back to his freshman year. The younger brother of Ohio State's Trey Henderson and Ronnie Walker from Utah Tech has offers from both Virginia and Virginia Tech, along with West Virginia and Maryland. Last season, he won a state indoor track championship in the 55-meter hurdles in his first year. Last year, 3 schools from the Richmond area capped their undefeated seasons with state championships: Highland Springs, Dinwiddie, and Trinity.
And we're pretty sure, at least in the last 30 years, it's the first time not only that the Richmond area has had 3 state champs in the same year, but that they were all undefeated, a combined 41-0 on the field between those 3 programs. And some of their players remember the feeling. For the 5th time in the past 8 seasons, the Springers of Highland Springs won the Class 5 state championship. And for the 2nd time in that span, they went undefeated. Khristian Martin, Aziz Foster Powell, and Braylon Johnson helped guide the Springers to playoff wins over Prince George, Freeman, L.C. Bird, Stonehenge, and Maury for the championship. The offense scored over 20 points in all but 1 game last year, and the defense pitched 6 shutouts and allowed 20 points just once all season.
For us, the expectation is to always win a state championship, but to take it game by game. I just expect to be better than what I was last year, just be a better player mentally, physically.
Down in Dinwiddie, head coach Billy Mills guided the Generals to their 2nd state championship in Class 4 by beating Powhatan, Hanover, King George, Warwick, and Kettle Run for the title. They too went undefeated for just the 2nd time in school history. Quarterback Harry Dalton led the way and will be back again this fall as the Generals go for a repeat. The Trinity Episcopal Titans rounded out the area's 3-headed undefeated monster with an 11-0 season and another win over Benedictine in their title game. Sam Mickens' team outscored their 2 playoff opponents 70-0 and has won 14 straight games heading into 2023. They returned 15 starters, including defensive back Cornell Allen.
It felt great. We beat them twice, both state champions. I want to get first team all-state, all-metro. I want to be the best player that I can be, and I want to have the best season I've had ever in high school.
One of the things that makes high school football great is the rivalries. That one game which can divide a city, a county, a neighborhood, or even a family home. In the Richmond region, there are several, like the Tomato Bowl, the Coal Bowl, the Battle of Chester, and even the Battle of the East End. They have fans counting the seconds to when the 2 programs meet on the field. We caught up with some players who know a thing or two about playing in a rivalry and what it means to them.
I would say our rival is Varina High School. 2 schools right down the street from each other, both East End schools. Everybody knows on the East End, Varina and Highland Springs is the game you always want to be at. You know, we hate them, they hate us. I'm not going to throw the word hate out there, but it's definitely good competition every time we play them. They got the best of us last year, and I know this year we got them. Like 28-0, something like that. Pretty lopsided game, so hopefully we can repeat it. You know, whenever we play against Highland Springs, the crowd is literally, I feel like it's everybody in the whole state of Virginia at that game. Never been the one that hasn't been packed. Rain, snow, cold, hot, regardless, the game's going to be packed.
As of right now, it's Trinity Episcopal.
#1 rivalry, Benedictine.
Yeah, we hate them. It's nothing else to it, we hate them.
Benedictine is a great rivalries, probably our biggest rivalry we ever had in the school. They're great teams, great games, always back and forth, and I look forward to it.
We beat them twice, both state champions.
State champions!
Came down to overtime, last play of the game, 2-point conversion, and we won the last play of the game. So.
And then last year, we kind of just dogged them, so. I mean, it felt great. Like, just 2 state champs, and we're striving for a 3rd one, so.
We're gonna beat them. We're gonna beat them.
A rivalry this year would be a low thing, I would say. I think it was my sophomore year. They beat us for the first time in a while, and they were feeling good. You know, they beat Manchester. They felt great about it. Last year we won in a double overtime game. My boy Kyrie Richardson scored the game, won the touchdown, and I went and got the game-winning stop on the next possession. So that was definitely a live game for sure.
Atlee's biggest rival, I'd say, is Hanover High School. My dad's house is right next to a Hanover zone. I mean, all of us live kind of close together. A lot of us grew up together, going to the same elementary schools. I don't like them. I mean, I never have, never will.
As we begin a new season, there are several new faces in new places this year among the head coaching ranks. Not that this is the first time they've ever worn the big whistle, but a lot of them are starting over with new programs.
That's right. 10 schools from the Richmond area will have new head coaches on the sidelines this year. Some will be their first head coaching job ever, and then some will be at a new program, but all are looking to make an impact with their respective schools.
This is year 1 going on year 12. Now I had a chance to work with Coach Palio and the staff for 11 years. I've had an opportunity to learn this community, to know this community. My kids are here at the school. It just makes sense for me. This is home.
I believe that Coach Glasgow did a phenomenal job in grooming me for this role, for this leadership role. Then I also had the support staff with some of the guys like Coach Vance and Coach Mason who kind of groomed me as well.
Looking at it from a big picture, now is the time. And I think it's the right time. We're not always in charge of everything that happens, although we try to be. And sometimes you don't expect this, or look for this, or look for that, and it happens.
We're all growing together and we're learning each other, trying to change the culture of what's been here previously. And I think that we're just kind of a match right now. We're all meshing together really, and it's been a fun time.
When Mike left to go to Powhatan and Freeman, I just really feel like following him again, or I wanted to make sure that now is an opportunity to go learn from other head coaches. So I think it was time to step up on my own and see what I could do.
Opportunity came, and like I've said multiple times before, it was 2 jobs that we looked at that we would make a transition for if God said so, and that was Petersburg and it was Huguenot. And we want to help these young men achieve their goals. We want to help these young men be better men as they're going into life.
It's been a goal of mine since I got into coaching. Started when I played here under Bill Bowles and then kind of traveling around. And most recently, Jay Parker over at Matulka and Fred Stutz. So just kind of taking everything that I've learned from those guys who are great guys, as well as, community guys, and just bringing that back home.
My wife, she makes good decisions that sometimes I don't. She was like, man, why would you coach everybody else's child for 20 years and then when your son gets to high school, step away? So when the call came that it may come open, I had to entertain it.
Honestly, we were just talking, and then people from all walks of life, people that I'd coached with, people and kids that I'd worked with, former players all said, hey, look, you need to get back in this game. It's been too long for you.
I wouldn't trade my path to this position for anything in the world. I just can't speak highly enough of Coach Mike Henderson and how he prepared me for one day to take over this position right here. And even last year, Coach Harrison allowing me to implement a lot of things that we had at Freeman. So when I was able to get the big whistle myself, it was a smooth transition and taking it to another level.
Last year, there were more Thursday games on our schedule than we could remember, and it's not because they wanted to add an extra game or extra day of games to the schedule. It was because of the shortage of officials, not only across this region, but across the country.
The Central Virginia Football Officials Association is in charge of scheduling officials for games all the way out to Tappahannock, down to Greenville, and out to Amelia. They need at least 220 officials to cover that much of an area throughout the season. They only have 150, but we caught up with some of their new recruits for 2023. As teams and coaches get ready for a new season,
you're going to be on the goal line pylon on your side of the field.
New officials get ready for their first season.
You never, ever would have a ball hit the ground, especially on a wet night. The biggest challenge is just life challenges. So the time commitment involved, even though we try to explain it to them, they don't realize it's Tuesday night meetings, Wednesday night JV games, Thursday night JV or varsity games, Friday night varsity games, Saturday Little League. You can work almost all week doing some kind of games.
The Central Virginia Football Officials Association has been in desperate need of men and women to replenish their ranks. This year, they have about 24 new faces to train.
24 that we have so far have been very good. They've been receptive and they're learning. So the short 5 means that if it's a penalty, there'd be an automatic first, like a 5-yard penalty, it'd be an automatic first down.
They come from all walks of life. Some still have day jobs, some are retired, but all of them love the game.
And I always had an affinity to want to come and be participant, on the sidelines doing chains or never really thought about officiating.
I love football, so, it's not like giving back and, learning the game more and being more in depth in the game.
I played for the Virginia Panthers. I played also for the Richmond Black Widows and the River City Sting. I played for the last 7 years, and I guess now I'm going to the dark side and seeing what refereeing is like.
Even though they have played or watched for years, each of them learn many different things because they are now watching from a whole new perspective.
It's nothing like I thought. There's so much to look for and so many things that I never thought that I had to pay attention to.
Like I said, man, it's different. It's like night and day, man, because you're not looking at the ball. You're looking at what's going on, the action.
Back! The game is going at regular speed that you watch, but it seems so fast for what you're looking for. I'm having a great time. It's a lot of fun.
Watching the best players in Central Virginia isn't limited to just Friday nights or just Saturdays for that matter. Some of the best have made it all the way to the big games on Sunday.
Absolutely. Currently, nearly a dozen players who play their high school football here in the Richmond area are on an NFL roster. Here's a list of a few.
The winner would go to the playoffs and the loser would stay home.
There are dozens of players that made it all the way to the NFL who got their starts right here on Final Score Friday. Here's a look at some of them. Russell Wilson began his career at collegiate where he did a little bit of everything for the Cougars, barely coming off the field. But it was his quarterback play which earned him 2 Metro Player of the Year awards as he threw for over 8,000 yards and 105 touchdowns, winning 2 state titles as a junior and senior. He was a 3rd-round draft pick of the Seahawks and has a Super Bowl title, an NFL Man of the Year honor, was named Rookie of the Year, selected to 9 Pro Bowls, and will start under center for the Broncos. Michael Robinson was the 2000 All-Metro Player of the Year at Varina and twice named All-State by the Associated Press. He amassed over 5,400 all-purpose yards for the Blue Devils in his career and scored 37 touchdowns. He also had over 200 tackles on defense and 18 interceptions as Varina won 4 straight regional championships with him in the lineup.
I decided to attend University of Penn State and become a Nittany Lion.
Robinson was a 4th-round draft pick by the 49ers out of Penn State. He's also a Super Bowl champ and was named to a Pro Bowl. He also went on to found the Excel to Excellence program, which has helped hundreds of kids further their athletic and educational goals. Anthony Harris had to be talked into joining the team at LC Bird, but once he did, he led the Skyhawks to back-to-back undefeated regular seasons as a junior and senior. He played both quarterback and in the secondary and was named the best athlete Bird has ever produced by the Times-Dispatch. The Minnesota Vikings signed him as a free agent out of UVA in 2015. He stayed 6 years with the Vikings and now plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. He was the NFL's co-leader in interceptions in 2019. Morgan Moses was impossible to avoid on the field for the Meadowbrook Monarchs. In fact, his number 77 has been retired by the school in his honor. Moses was a two-time All-District, Region, and State selection for the Monarchs and was a third-round pick out of UVA by Washington in 2014. He received the Ed Block Courage Award in 2015, played for the Jets last year, and is now with the Baltimore Ravens. Antone Exum was one of the first big names the Deep Run program ever had. Playing on both sides of the ball, Exum accounted for over 2,300 yards of total offense and 30 touchdowns as a senior for the Wildcats, including 6 of those scores on punt and kick returns. He was named first-team All-Region and All-Metro and was a 6th-round pick of the Vikings out of Virginia Tech in 2014. He played 4 years in Minnesota and 3 more in San Francisco before embarking on his current music career.
Band playing and you're just running out on that field, and there's nothing like it.
I'll definitely miss my family and friends being at the games and me being able to score.
I'm definitely gonna miss, like, everybody know, it's game day, things like that.
I'm keeping a lot of my focus on Atlee right now because I know I'm never going to get back the Friday night light feeling, playing with my high school teammates. A lot of these guys, it's their last year ever playing football, so there's a lot of passion out there. Atlee has a lot of history behind football. The area definitely shows out for our games. It's electric, man.
You know, when you go to college, things are kind of way more serious. They got a lot of money put into you. In high school, you can kind of, excuse my friends, BS about certain things. At Varina, it's a lot of dads, former referees, former players, former college players. Everybody always comes back to see what Varina's doing and what we have going on. As far as when I go to college, I know I'm not going to play. I'm not going to have as much free time, but I'll definitely miss my family and friends being at the games and me being able to score and then go dab with my younger brother or, go dab with my friends as soon as I score.
It's fun. It's really fun. That's what it's all about, really, for me. I can't even describe it. It's just really exciting.
I'm gonna miss the rivalries and just, like, all my family being able to come to, like, every game. When I go to the next level, I'm gonna be able to have fun, but it's gonna be, like, more serious, and I'm gonna miss playing with my brothers. Like, I've been playing with a lot of these guys for my whole life, ever since I was 5. Our school is 500 people, at least 300 are in the student section every Saturday.
I say one thing that I love about high school football is just, like, you go to school with those people, it's your community, it's probably the funnest football you'll play. It's competitive, but at the same time, it's not a business just yet. Going to college will be a little bit different. College, you gotta be a little bit more independent, get stuff done yourself. Can't beat coming back home tomorrow, dinner ready. Just having that person that you know always have your back.
CBS 6 is your home for everything involving high school football this year, and it starts on Mondays when we unveil our coaches poll along with our good friends at the Fan 910. Tuesday, we will name our team of the week, and then Wednesdays, we will preview our game of the week.
And it all leads up to each week of Final Score Friday, coming your way at 11:10 every Friday night right here on CBS 6, the only local TV sports coverage in Central Virginia. For Sean Robertson, I'm Lane Casadonte. Thank you for joining us so much tonight. So long, everyone.
Thanks for watching the Final Score Friday Preview Show, sponsored by Richmond Pediatric Dentistry and Orthodontics and Loyalty Automotive.